It is now my humble pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to ask His Excellency the President of Kenya to make his remarks, and thank you very much for listening to me. Asanteni sana.
Asante. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Asanteni sana. Asante sana. Fellow leaders gathered at this historic constitutional place of Bomas, and it is historic because many a time, as has been said, we have gathered here to discuss constitutional issues. Mimi nawasalimia nyote na nawashukuru kwanza kwa risala za birthday siku ya leo, na nasema asante. Asanteni sana. Thank you very much. So, thank you very much. So, before I begin, I would like to take this opportunity, as much as indeed they have been recognized, to recognize the Committee of Elders who, for the last 2 years, as we were told, have taken their time and indeed in many instances their resources to travel around this country together with their secretariat and their technical teams to put together first the document that they presented to us here last year, and now this revised version, where they have now gone with greater editing to the point of even giving us now proposed clauses for our consideration. And I would like to recognize Senator Yusuf Haji, who was the chair, who is unfortunately not well today, to recognize Professor Adam Zolo, the Vice Chair, to recognize Senator Amos Wako, to recognize Dr. Florence Omusa, to recognize also Mr. James Matundura, to recognize Bishop Lawi Imavio, to recognize also Professor Morpe Ole Ronke, yes, to recognize Rose Museo, to recognize Mrs. Agnes Karindu Mudhama, to recognize also Professor Said Mwaguni, to recognize Major John Sei, to recognize also Honorable my son Leshomo, to recognize Bishop Peter Jenga, and finally to recognize Archbishop Zacchaeus Okoth, retired, plus your entire secretariat. I thought it important for Kenyans to know the men and women who have guided us through this process to where we are today. Let me say that today we have before us a document that has been worked on and again, I repeat, for a period now of 2 years. And a document whose objective is really nothing more than to find what ails our country and hopefully give us a solution that will heal our country. I want to also recognize at this moment my brother Raila Odinga. And I have a reason to. Because as many of you know, we were competitors in 2017. And as such, things got to a very difficult level. Indeed, as Bishop Oginde here has said, and as many others will bear witness, but when we sat down to speak, something that was very difficult for him, but also for me and my team, very difficult. But when we got through to it, and we spoke again, and we spoke again, we agreed that we're not here to share positions, and we should put our various positions aside. And we agreed that we were coming together with one common agenda, the agenda of ensuring that what the people of Kenya have witnessed in 1992, in 1997, in 2005, in 2007, in 2017, Kenyans shall never, ever witness again. We did not talk about sharing government, and as we stand today, he is not in government. He is not in government. He never made any demands for government. He never made any demand for a share of government. He said that let us get together and let us fix that which ails us, that will allow us in future to be able to compete without the need for innocent Kenyan blood to be shed. I want to thank you for that, Raila, from the bottom of my heart, because you didn't have to do it. I also want to thank my deputy president, because all in all, along that path, I kept him abreast of what was going on. He was part and parcel. It's the truth, I'm not lying. Ask him, he's here. He was part and parcel. In fact, he helped me identify some of the wazays I just mentioned here. Yeah. And the purpose, as I had told him, and as we agreed with Raila, was never to talk about what shall happen tomorrow in terms of our elective posts, but I said it was an extension of what I and you did in 2013. So that we can bring all of us on board and have a situation where no Kenyan is left behind. Okay? No Kenyan. And I said I would use today as a day to say my thanks and to put things also in context. Because I hope and pray that from here we shall focus ourselves on the issue at hand. And the issue at hand is how to ensure unity in our diversity. There are issues, fellow Kenyans, that we consistently shy away from addressing because we don't want to address certain things. We don't want to own up to certain things. But the fact of the matter is that we are a tribal society. We want to get away from it, but that's what we are. And this is what divides us, because we pretend we are national leaders. But when the time comes, we switch to vernacular and we become what we are. And these are facts. Tusidanganyane. Na kila mtu anasema ile watu wako namna hii sijui, na wale wako hivi, na wale wako vile, na wale wako hivi. I will also admit today that I've also been part and parcel of that negative politics. Yeah. So I'm not blaming, I'm not saying this because I'm pointing fingers at anybody. I am just saying we have all been part of this mess. We have all been part of it. But we never want to talk about it. We all pretend how great and how national leaders we are. All right? And that is why we must address ourselves to this issue of inclusivity. Because if we are going to remove this kasumba that has disturbed us, we must deal with this issue of inclusivity so that every single community and section of this country feels that they are part and parcel of this great nation. And you know, we started pole addressing ourselves to that issue even in 2010 by bringing on devolution and ensuring now resources were going kule mashinani. But there were still elements that were left. Elements that made people feel that they were left out of national government. So the issue of inclusivity is critical and was critical. And we said with my friend here, we must address ourselves to that issue so that future generations will be able to address themselves as Kenyans. Lakini nyinyi msitudanganye hapa ukabila umejaa. Na ni vizuri, unajua mtu asiposema ukweli tunaficha kule, but then we never address it. And that's why I'm saying I want to thank these gentlemen because they are trying to address themselves to those issues. Because until we do, our politics will consistently be negative. And we want to change that cycle so that our politics can be positive driven. Positive that we are winners when we are together. That is the direction that we wish to move ourselves in. The second big problem we have is our young people. Again, let us not cheat ourselves. It is our young people. We have a youth bulge that, if not properly handled, can be a time bomb that can blow this country to pieces. And the handling of that has to be done extremely carefully. Extremely carefully. That is not a problem of this community or that. It affects us all. But how we manage it, we must manage it very carefully. We cannot manage it through inciting them. All right? We must manage it by including them in our decision-making processes. And that is why I said in Kisii during the Mashujaa Day celebrations, if we are to deal with our youth problem, we must deal with our economy. And there is no country in the world that has ever developed on a 5-year cycle of politics. You can never develop on a 5-year cycle. And if you cannot develop your economy, how do you create the jobs? If every cycle you spend 1 whole year, and in this case, in our case, it's 2 years, before the election campaigning, then you spend another 2 years after the election campaign trying to sort out the political mess, umebaki na mwaka moja ya kufanya kazi. Uchumi kweli tutapanua? Wenzangu, vijana kweli tutawapatia kazi? Ya? Na ndipo niliwaambia juzi wakati tulikuwa tumeenda kuanzisha mradi wa hawa vijana, na nikawaambia, my friends, be very careful. It is very exciting and it is very sweet. But we must stop this culture of use and dispose of our young people, and instead develop and deepen a process, which again I want to thank these gracious men and women because they have looked into those issues, of how we can systematically and in a very clear and thought out manner enable our young people, who are our future, to be a productive part of Kenyan society. And nobody can do that. I can't do it alone. We must be together, and we must engage in that conversation together. Tunaelewana wenzangu? And I strongly believe if we just deal with those two issues, and I know there are many other issues dealing with women, dealing with handicap, and I don't want to get into them. Kwa sababu tumesoma na tumesema tutakuwa na dialogue. Lakini mimi ombi langu kwenu nyinyi ni wakati tunasoma, let us focus ourselves on dealing with those two very critical issues that will guarantee the peace, the stability, and the ultimate prosperity of our nation. And let us not entertain the sideshows, because there are too many sideshows that are detracting us from where we want to go, that are stopping this country from being that great country that our forefathers saw it to be. And I believe that together we can achieve it. And I believe that together we can overcome this hurdle. And then those who are seeking elective positions, how wonderful it would be if you were seeking those elective positions in a unified country where it was ideas that are competing against each other, not ethnicity, not this, not this. It was a competition of ideas. How best can we get to where we are going? How best can we achieve for our people, for our children, for our children's children? And I believe here we have something. As I said in Kisii, I believe here we have something that can begin us in that process. And rather than fight over the many things that we will either agree or disagree on, please, on this one, let us agree. Let us agree and fix it. Mimi hiyo ndio ombi langu kwenu nyinyi na kwa Wakenya wote. Na ndio nasema mimi nawaomba msome, kwa sababu like I said, kuna vipengele mingi. Na tumesikia hapa wengine wakaya mistaki ile, hii iwe namna hii, hii iwe namna hiyo. Ni sawa. That is the conversation that we must have. Sindio? Because at the end of the day, all we want to do is to see ourselves improve what has been done. But let us not be bogged down by those ones and fail to achieve this one. Because without this, hata hizo zingine zote ni za bure. Amani, wenzangu, amani na umoja wa taifa letu, na njia ile tutapambana na ukosefu wa kazi kwa vijana wetu. Na mambo haya hatutaweza kutimiza tusipokuja pamoja. Na ndipo mimi leo, vile mmesikia nikisema, namshukuru ndugu yangu Raila. Hakuja hapa kupambana na mimi, hakuja hapa kusema tugawe serikali. Na nikimshukuru na mshukuru pamoja na viongozi wake wenzake wale walikuwa wanasa, Mheshimiwa Kalonzo Musyoka, Mheshimiwa Mudavadi, Mheshimiwa Wetangula, wote. Na nawashukuru. Na ndipo namshukuru hata sasa upande yetu ya Jubilee, namshukuru kwa sababu tulisonga pamoja. Hapa katikati ndio sasa 2022 ikaanza kuwa inapita. Akasahau yale mengine. Na ndio wanasema watu tutulize ball, hiyo bado itakuja. Ama ni namna gani wenzangu? Tutulize ball, hiyo itakuja. Miaka hairudi nyuma. Nilikuwa naambia viongozi hawa wa Kisii, siku nyingine walikuja kunitembelea. Race hii ni ile ya kuhandover, unajua? Si ndio? Inaitwa relay. Unakimbia ule mwingine anakugojea pale, anatakikana kukugojea ndio ashike aendelee, si ndio? Lakini sasa my brother William hapa amepinduka, anakimbia nyuma. Nikasema mosmos, tutafika tu. Jameni, tufanye shughuli hii muhimu kwa taifa, shughuli ambayo itatusaidia na itasaidia kuleta umoja na amani katika taifa letu. Tumesikia hapa wale ambao wametuongelesha hapa, wale ambao wamepoteza mali yao kule Molo. Wazazi wetu hapa walipoteza mtoto yao kwa sababu ya siasa. Vile Mama Pendo ametuambia hapa, wacha hiyo iwe ya mwisho. Wacha hiyo iwe ya mwisho, na tuweze kusonga pamoja. Na ndipo nasema sisi tutaendelea kujadiliana na viongozi wenzetu, na wauliza nyinyi muendelee kuongea at every level of government, at every level of society. Engage one another, talk to each other, and in a civilized manner bring your recommendations to our good friends. Improve on it if we can improve on it. As one of our colleagues here said, you know, a good idea always gives way to a better. So if there is a better one, bring it on board. Let us not overload ourselves, and let us push forward and bring peace to our country. Mimi sitaki kuzidi hapo, isipokuwa kuungana na yale ambaye pia former Prime Minister ametaja, ya kwamba sisi wote tuwatuma rambirambi kwa jamii ya Zamba Kitonga, shujaa wa taifa letu la Kenya, ambaye alitusaidia kuleta hiyo katiba ya 2010. Tuombe Mwenyezi Mungu amweke pahali pema, na tufuate sisi hivyo ambaye ametufundisha. Tutasaidiana. BBI hii itapita jameni, ama mnaonaje? Itapita jameni? Mutapitisha? Mutatusaidia kuelimisha Wakenya ni kwa nini tunataka kupitisha document hii? Mutatusaidia? Tutatembea pamoja. Nataka mimi kumalizia hapo, lakini niseme, masikia Kalonzo akiongea hapo ya kwamba sijui kuna marriage act. Lakini ile nilishika ni apogisho kuniambia kuna ukurasa Biblia ambaye inasema inawezekana. Nataka tukimaliza hapa utanionyesha ni chapter gani hiyo, ndio niweze kusoma vizuri, alafu tutaongea baadaye mamini. Mungu awabariki, Mungu awalinde. Asanteni sana.
Tusimame sote sasa kwa wimbo wa taifa. Sorry. Asanteni sana. Sote tusimame wakati Mheshimiwa Rais anaondoka kwa hiari yake. Wimbo kutoka studio. Asante. Tuweke wimbo wa Shujaa.